This is Jim Bratton Podcast, Business Edition. In-depth conversations with entrepreneurs and business owners. Now, here's Jim.
And thanks, Sierra. Today we're going to talk to Rex Moran, who's a professional engineer and president of Industrial Electrical Services. Thanks for joining us, Rex.
Hi, Jim. Glad to be here.
They've been designing and construction services for over 40 years?
Yes, we have, Jim. We've seen the industrial electrical business really expand over the years.
I'll bet you have. Speaking of expanding, today we're talking about electrical vehicle charging, sort of what's happening and who's impacted the most, and, of course, how to prepare for it. Rex, there's some interesting stats in terms of where we're going in terms of EVs. You want to cite some of those for us?
Certainly. Right now, about 4% of all vehicles sold are EVs. An EV is defined as a car or a light truck or a van. The big over-the-road vehicles, that's another question right there. But right now, 4% of all cars sold today are EVs. Less than 7 years from now, 50% of all cars sold will be EVs. And in less than 12 years from now, if our manufacturers live up to their promises, which is GM, Ford, Mercedes-Benz, and the other majors, all vehicles will be EVs.
Wow. So the challenge from that rapid ascension to EVs is?
Charging them for local operation. Like I said, over-the-road charging, that'll be a topic for a much later discussion. Right now, local operation, which is defined as trips within 100 miles of your home, or your home base, that is the most common use of your EV. That'll cover 95% of it right there. Trip down to the supermarket, go visit your buddy, it's all the local drives. So the real challenge on that is going to be charging these.
Yeah.
Now, the people most affected, first off, let me tell you, the individual who lives in a single-family home, you get off easy. All you'll need is a 110-volt circuit. You plug in your $250 charger overnight, and you're good to go for your local work.
So you're good 100 miles plus.
Yeah.
For that.
Or if, you got a little anxiety, you can buy what's called a level 2 charger. Right. And for $2,500, which will include the wiring necessary for it, you're good to go in 4 hours. So you as an individual, you got it made.
Typically using existing house wiring then.
Precisely.
Okay. That's the home.
That's home, but here is where it gets binding.
Yeah.
Because multifamily, that includes apartments and condos, and operators of fleet operations for local deliveries. These folks face a real challenge because all of a sudden that little simple charger for each unit is now multiplied by numbers of 10 up to several hundred. And every apartment, major apartment, you're talking 200 or 300 vehicles there as well. And the problem here lies in the power. Not every place was designed to have a power requirement twice of what their normal was.
So this is not just a matter of like plugging it in. The capacity may not even be there to plug it in.
The capacity as well as the distribution, getting all those wires out to those different charging areas. So there's a huge consideration right there. All of a sudden, you're looking at bringing in a whole new power source at this stage of the game, and you're going to have to rearrange all your parking to accommodate consolidation of these charging areas. You just don't want to run lines all over your parking areas. You want to bring them in exactly as close as you can to keep your costs down.
I'm just thinking, you're talking about 100% of cars sold will be EVs, and there's hundreds of thousands of filling stations now.
That is correct.
So that's the infrastructure. It's got to be replaced?
That is correct. And we're talking billions of dollars of fuel costs that are pumped through these service stations are now going to be redirected elsewhere.
Still pumping fuel.
Still pumping fuel. You still got to fill that EV up with electrons right there.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So let's move on to some of the other options that are out there. With level 2, $2,500, maybe 4 hours to do that.
That's right.
Maybe able to use existing.
Yes.
Service.
Yeah. All depending. But then again, if you need to get this electrical vehicle charged up in a half hour or so, then you're talking about going to a level 3 charger, which takes you up to industrial power distribution at that point. So these will run anywhere from $16,000 to $60,000 depending upon application. So all of a sudden you've got a tremendous investment here, but you get that EV back on the road in 30 minutes.
This may involve additional, like, major substations and I mean, big power distribution stuff.
Absolutely. And I can assure you there are no local delivery fleet services that have that kind of power available to them right now.
How do we get there? Walk me through some potential solutions.
Well, as always, it's preparation, and preparation begins with planning. It's time to bring that engineer in.
Right.
And you've got to develop the information. You've got to figure out what your requirement's going to be and what you have at that point in time. Then you need to go ahead and get that preliminary design and your cost estimates out.
What about permitting?
Jim.
Are the agencies equipped to recognize this as a type of installation?
The answer to that is no. Your permitting agencies are not prepared for the huge increase in this area. So it's going to take a while. Most cities or governmental bodies are reactive, so they'll eventually ramp up. But for right now, it is going to be a wait in line type program. So that's why you want to be the first in line so that you can get online as quickly as possible.
Now, you have an engineering firm, and of course, the reality of this is that when you have a fleet that needs to be powered, the engineers, like you said, come in first. You have to have a plan on this. This is not a matter of adding another outlet or.
Absolutely not, Jim. You're really looking at a whole new electrical service for your facility, and that also requires your local electrical provider coming up with the power to meet your needs. And right now, with the incoming tidal wave, shall I say, of EV charging requirements, our electrical local providers are not ready to sustain this. So there's going to be a lot of new substations going in to do this.
Those take forever to deliver.
Absolutely. So once again, when you're going in, you want to be the first in line to request that, or you may be up for a 4 or 5 year wait until they get that substation completed for you. So
this
do
is
it now.
Serious business.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
I mean, you might have to relocate your business if you're a fleet operator to some other area that has power available for you.
Wow. So, help. You got any subsidies or anything like that to help things along a little bit or not?
Absolutely, Jim. As you're well aware right now, there are a lot of governmental subsidies that will help you buy that electrical vehicle.
Right.
And also, from time to time, they also provide subsidies to allow you to bring in the infrastructure to charge those,
right,
up to 30%. Now, your current government subsidies are not really there to any large extent because, like everybody else, they just really haven't anticipated the need. However, it will be there. Governments will be providing those subsidies. That'll include cities are also trying to clean up the air and around their places, so they'll do it as well. And your utility providers, in order to sell more power, they will be inclined to offer you deals to go with your EV charging program. So the money will be there to some extent.
Let's talk about money.
Yes.
We talked a little bit about multifamily condos, apartments. Let's talk specifically apartments where people are paying to rent there, and you're going to have a jillion charging stations going to have to come in. Tell me about the financials of that.
Well, Jim, now you have touched upon one of the really greatest incentives, which is always profit.
Yeah.
Because all of a sudden, these 300 or 400 vehicles that are sitting in your apartment or condo parking garages, they're now, instead of spending thousands of dollars every year on fuel, they'll be buying thousands of dollars worth of electricity. So if you go with the appropriate charging system, then you can set up to charge these folks for their power consumption.
With a modest margin.
With whatever margin you think the market will bear.
Right.
We would like to think that you would be fair about that. But all of a sudden, you can have a real profit center going right there in your parking garage.
Wow. Man, I'm overwhelmed by some of this. You want to wrap things up a little bit for me? Have we covered what you wanted to cover? By the way, this is a conversation could go on just forever.
Jim, there's several other avenues that need pursuing, but I think within the structure of today, just the immediate needs of the certain folks who are going to be most grossly affected, I think we have covered that little part right now. But let's just say, what are the benefits of this? For one, as an operator, your fuel costs are going to go down by about 50%.
Wow.
Your maintenance costs are going to go down by 50% as well. There's not 1/10 the moving parts in an EV that there is in internal combustion. So
You got a slab and electric motors.
damn right it is, Jim. So it's that's the good news right there. You're going to get some of that money back, hopefully. But and another thing is your EV can all of a sudden be your backup electrical supply if you happen to need it. They're producing those right now. And the last thing is your air will be cleaner. Vehicles right now are providing about 29% of the air pollution that we suffer from. So all of a sudden you're doing the right thing. But like I said, big changes are coming quickly. In less than 7 years, there'll be 26 million EVs on the road and more coming in a hurry.
Wow.
So technology is changing. So if you want to get in line for this, you want to go for the latest technology. You do not wish to be buying a stable just when the Model T showed up, okay?
Let's lead into the normal close on this. You know we're headed there. You that are listening know as well, because Rex is in the engineering business. So you would be a person or a firm or someone like yours that someone should get a hold of, right?
That's right, Jim. We recognize that this is going to be an important line of business here for certainly the next 20 years, because it's going to be a huge demand that is going to have to be met quickly and as efficiently as possible right there. It'll be painful, but we're going to keep the pain down to a minimum, and hopefully we can come up with some profitable solutions along the way for you. So if you have any more questions or you would like a presentation to your organizations representing multifamily and fleet operations, you can go ahead and contact us on the internet under the name of Industrial Electrical Services, Inc., or www.ies-electric.com.
Industrial Electrical Services, Inc., www.ies-electric.com. And, of course, we'll put that information on the description of this podcast as well then. Rex Moran, I've learned a lot today. Thank you very much.
Well, there's going to be a whole lot more coming, folks, so just be ready for it.
And be ready for more podcasts addressing this very issue. Thanks for listening.
This has been Jim Bratton Podcast, Business Edition. Contemporary business conversations. A Jim Bratton production. I'm Sierra Sakewell.